Hey, Steve Zonardo here with Treviso Realty. Happy Monday morning. Just a real quick update on the current market. We're at 19,520 units, so amazing. We're under 20K. Just remember, we started this year with like 28 to 29,000 units. Do the math on that. Let me just do quick math. 19,500. Yeah, it's like 43% drop off of inventory. We shed 43% of inventory from the start of this year to now, which is going right into a fantastic market, clearly. Estero, we're at 704 units. Again, that's good. We're going to get under the 600 range very shortly. Last 7 days, sales in Estero, 23 sales. And then Southwest Florida, like our section, 380 sales in the last 7 days. So sales are down, clearly. I like to always look at what's pre-con and UCon, what's available. You always got to watch this out in any market, because if you're getting overbuilt and there's a lot of new inventory and it's all new construction, it's a sign of a crash. And the good thing is we're low on new construction and pre-construction that's currently on the market. If you look at Southwest Florida, it's only 17% of the all the inventory that's going to be new con and pre-con that's available on MLS. And then if you get into Estero itself, there's only 37 units available. So very nice way they've done this. It kind of kept us very clean, not overbuilt. What we're seeing right now as well too, for the super growth of the communities, is the industrial and commercial sector just blowing up. If you look, it's amazing. I gotta fly the drone a little bit higher out, and maybe just like more around Ben Hill, Griffith, around there where Miramar is. Just want to show this, the outline of what's happening there. There's so much plots of land that are being ready for industrial commercial buildings, which is fantastic. Why? Because that's going to bring economic growth. That means businesses are moving to the community and going forward with that, creating jobs, and creating jobs gets families to relocate. Relocation causes housing sales, which is fantastic. So we're on the right journey here going forward. Another note, Kingston Project. If you know the Kingston Project, it's on the corkscrew just east of Verdana Village. Oh my gosh, we drove by there a couple days ago. It's insane. I can't believe how much land they've basically got ready for roads already. Basically, they're doing the first phase right now. They're just clearing out all the citrus farms. They're leveling the land and all that. But it is insane. We're gonna fly a drone out there. Even today, I might go this afternoon. Just fly a drone, show you guys what that looks like right now, which is insane. Beat on the street is by April of next year. We're gonna have our first models to take a look at and start selling there, which is great. That's pretty cool. And then bring it back to Verdana Village. Our second amenity centers is about to open up and very shortly. I was told we're going to get fobs this week. And that's pretty cool. West Village Amenity Center. We had some clients fly in last week, and just showing them, they were so surprised that we had a second one. I go, but we're going to even have a third one at this point. So if you don't want to get into like the big amenity center with, especially if there's let's say, one of our parties or events there and it's very noisy and busy, and you want to get like more of a chill out sector, that's going to be an amazing spot. Amazing pool, amazing hot tub. It's got a horseshoe games there. I saw some hot soccer nets up as well. There's a nice pavilion for picnicking, so that's good. This is why we always feel like Verdana Village has got one of the greatest values out here in Lee County, and that's why it is the #1 selling community in Lee County, based on what you're getting with the amenity center, what you're paying, the quality of living there, the great demographics that make up the area, which is fantastic. So we always push that community. I was reading some articles as well going forward regarding interest rates. So like JP Morgan's talking now that they're going to do 4 adjustments by the end of the year. So I don't know how that looks. I know September they're meeting again, so it looks like they're going to start hammering these rates down. So 4 times by the end of the year, which would be insane if we get all that done. You're going to see, obviously now we're in a big push, right, with a lot of buyers coming into the market. Either they're out of state or out of country, and they're buying properties like crazy right now. Why? Because they know that this is the lull period and we're starting to do this uptick. So it's a good opportunity to buy right now and lock in, because anything you bought right now, you're going to make money on. I'll give you an example. So that little house that I bought, we closed actually on Thursday or Friday. So 5-bed, 3-bath, $265,000. We bulk bought them, so this is why the price is a lot lower, because they're listed like a 3 and change, 330 or something of that nature. I think 339, but paid 265. So fantastic deal on the property. Again, bulk buying. We bought like 12 or 14 of them, so this is why why we're getting clients these prices as well, is because we're bulk buying. So we get the property appraised, which is fantastic. Remember, a bank appraisal is going to always be 3 to 5% below whatever the market is. The banks don't want to have it exactly market value. Why? Because they want to keep a little bit of buffer in there. Something were to happen, there's some meat in there for them to chew before the house goes underwater financially. So what they do with that is they'll always underprice it a bit. So that little property came in at $305,000 on the appraisal. So $305,000, and they're selling resale right now. I actually checked around $330K. So we've made, I think it was 15%, just literally purchasing the property, made 15% lift right off the top. The numbers are not massive. You're not going to be buying a Ferrari anytime soon. It's only a $50,000 increase in value. But I look at the percentage, because this is something you can multiply. If you're making 15% right off the top of everything that you're investing in, it's great money. Like the S&P can't provide that. I think it's like a 10 to 11% right now. So it's a 15% right off the top. On the appraisal, but on the resale market, if they're selling for $330, let's do the math on this quickly, and I paid $265 for it, it's 25%. So you made 25% return already just purchasing the property. Then once it's rented, it's going to pay me $500 to $700 of passive income per month, and this is good. It's a good little investment. We set up an actual pro forma of this, how it would look in 20 years. Maybe I should pick it up. Let me pull it up. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Have a look at this. We've actually had this in our webinar, Canadians Purchasing in Florida. Look at this retirement plan. You know, we're invested in a little bit into, we did some money. We're going to do a plan on the S&P right now. We opened up an account with Charles Schwab, and it's basically started off with $12K, and every month it withdraws $1,000 from your account automatically, and then within 20 years it equals almost to $1 million with the capital that you've invested, also the appreciation, the compounded interest that gets compounded, and away you go. So just remember, in 20 years, I'm 44 now, 20 years I'll be 64. So if I can do the S&P, if this continues at that 10 to 12% range going forward, by the time I'm 64, it'll be at $1 million worth, and it'll generate $100,000 a year in passive income. So I don't have to touch the capital. It'll pay me $100,000 a year. So it's almost $10,000 a month. So that's like Plan D, but you got to put one of those in place, to be honest, just because we're obviously self-employed. We don't have a retirement plan, so we have to plan for this stuff. But look at the more aggressive plan here with the housing. So that little house that we bought now in Fort Myers, this is a 20-year plan, okay? So this is what you do. I always tell clients that these properties are pregnant when you buy them. They just give birth 3 to 5 years. I've been saying this for like 15 years. This is what it is. They're pregnant, they give birth 3 to 5 years, depending on the market, clearly. So this is a pro forma based on every 3 years you're going to refinance the property because the appreciation, we did it very low, only 3% if you look at it, 3% annually. It can go higher, it can go lower, but we did something very, 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 very conservative, let's just say that. So first year you buy your property, clearly. Year 3 you refi the first property, purchase a second one. You're going to pull $50,000 to $60,000 for the home, and you're going to buy your second property. Year 6, you're going to refi home 1 and 2, buy 3 and 4. You're going to pull $110,000 in equity, and now you got a total of 4 houses. Year 9, you're going to refi 1 through 4, so all 4 properties, and you're going to buy 5, 6, and 7. So 4 properties will rebirth 3 properties. You're going to pull $180K out. Now you got 7 properties in 9 years. Again, this is very doable because it's in, you look at it, it's in years, 3 years, every 3 years. Year 12, you're going to refi 1 through 7, and you're going to buy 3 more homes, 8 through 10. Okay, so that's you're going to have 10 houses by year 12. By year 15, you refi 1 through 10, you buy 4 properties, 11 through 14. So now you got 14 homes. You pull $400K to make that happen. Year 18, you're going to refi 1 through 14 and buy 5 more houses, 15 through 19. Now you got 19 properties and a total of $550,000 pulled. But look at that, how this looks in income. Because at the end, when you're retired, you don't really care about the capital, rather. You're looking at something that's going to pay you monthly, like a salary. So if you look at year 20, and 20 years from now, let's say this is year 21, annual income at 5%, monthly income at 5% is literally $37,000 a month, and you're getting an annual income of $454,000 just off off the one investment that you're going to do. Plus, if with the S&P that we're going to do there, that's another $1 million, plus it's $100,000 a month of passive income. So if all works out, it would be over $550,000 a year in annual income, which is basically will supplement currently what let's just say what I'm making now at this age, $500,000 to $700,000 a year. So ultimately, with these two small investments being made this year, we're looking 20 years down the road, God willing, we're still around. This is where we're going to be. So this is kind of planning ahead going forward. And that little property, I mean, everyone should do this. This shouldn't be even just foreign nationals. This should be all citizens of the U.S. as well should be looking into this, because this is how you're going to generate wealth for your future and have making sure you're not dependent on the government. You're getting passive income. And again, it's that one investment. Crack the piggy banks, do what you got to do, buy the first property. Even if you got a joint venture with 2 to 3 people, buy the first one, because in 3 years, that's what we started. We bought, again, I started owning real estate when I was 21. I started buying properties. Again, those were joint ventures. The first one was with a partner. Second and third was, by myself. We had 14 tenants at off-campus residence in a college, which was great. Great and not great. And then ultimately, because there's a lot of bullshit with kids in college, clearly, if you know that, so hormones and alcohol. But ultimately, if you looked at when we sold everything off, then we got into real estate after my career in construction. We bought our first property back with three other investors. So it was a $260,000 purchase. We had to only put, I think it might have been 20%. Anyway, 20%. So we put like $16,000 each down on this property, and we bought it. So 16 grand. That $16,000 for initial investment led a year later. We bought another one off market, and then that one led into a third one, and then we sold off those other two and bought a bigger one, and it was like then we sold those two and we bought a larger one and like more valuable. And then what it all led up to from 2014 to 2022 when I unloaded them was like $7 to $8 million of real estate. And it was just, again, that initial $16,000, $17,000 investment, which my wife was having a heart attack, didn't know where we're going to get the money from, because when I bought it, she said, "What did you do?" I said, "Just start cracking your piggy banks, because we got to come up with 17 grand in order to pay for this property we just bought," which she wasn't too happy about. But looking in hindsight now, like that led us through great investments through Canada, ultimately being able to sell and then move into the United States with that capital, and then reinvest it into the States. So this is, if you kind of look at it as a one purchase, and that's why I'm telling even Trent, that guy right there, that keeps modifying his car to buy one property, and then just put it together, and every 3 to 5 years they refinance it. Even if you go with a few of his buddies, it'd be just great. $15,000, $20,000 each, away you go, and you got yourself a future. But that's pretty much it. Have a great day, guys. Have a good one. Bye bye.